Hello again, it's the OhioRAAM show coming to you from Southwest Ohio, sponsored by Time Stations 41 in Oxford, Ohio, and Time Station 42 in Blanchester, Ohio. The race is on. I spent last evening and a little bit into the morning at Time Station 41 in Oxford again. Left my camera charger there, and I'm just about out of battery, so I've got to stop and pick up one at the camera store on my way down to Blanchester this evening. Hello, I'm Lee Kreider, your host for this show, and I want to tell you, be careful about becoming a fan of the race across America. And if you want to know why, that ping in the background you just heard is somebody trying to get a hold of me on one of the social medias. That'll happen during the show because I'm watching things as we go along. But just take a look at me. If you become a fan of RAAM, I'll guarantee you, A, you'll look terrible because you're not getting any sleep. B, you'll stumble on your speech like I just did. Can't think of what to say. I mean, it's a terrible disease. But those of us who have it wouldn't shake it for anything. And hopefully this show today will show you why. It's going to be short. But I do want to feature a couple things up front. One, I have some personal comments to make about the race across America, Pippa Middleton, some other things that are going on. I'm going to save those for the end because if I put them up front, you get bored and turn off some important things. But featured on the show tonight is going to be Mike Minium. For those of you who have done RAAM, who have been across our route here, this is the guy who puts up the signs. And he's going to tell a little bit about them, but I want to say he pays for these out of his own pocket. I know that it's cost him more than $1,000, and I think it'd almost be safe to say thousands of dollars. He loses up to a third of them every year. Of the 200 signs he has out, it cost him $4 a hit. And he's going to make a little pitch on there, and so am I, for a donation to help him with those signs. If you thought those are something that you'd like to see go on, the best way to do it, as I say in the video clip from him, is to simply go to the OhioRAAMshow.com. You'll see the logo throughout the show. Click on the link that gives a message to me, and say, "Hey, I'd like to help Mike," and I'll get back to you with how you can do that. I'd rather not put personal information up here on a live broadcast. Well, it's not live, it's recorded. But let's help Mike do that. If you're in Oxford or going by Oxford, you can pick up one of the signs for $10. The signs actually cost $4, but it'll give you a nice souvenir, and that helps to buy 2 signs for next year. So that's enough of me talking, and I'm going to have some more coffee here and enjoy the show. Hello again, this is Lee Kreider with the OhioRAAM show, coming to you from Time Station 41 here in Oxford, Ohio. And tonight we have with us the sign man at long last. We get Mike Minium on the show. How are you doing tonight, Mike?
Well, very well, thank you very much.
And every time we have somebody on the show who's done a race across America, they always say, "That's the place with the signs." So show us one of your signs there, Mike.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
Well, we started about 5 years ago when they first started putting the route through Oxford. We had a lot of concerns about the safety of part of the route because of Highway 73 is quite busy, lots of commuter traffic, and we wanted to do something to alert motorists to the bicycles, to let them know that there were going to be bicyclists slow moving going up the hills out there, and to try and be a little more careful. And we expanded that a little bit into the more rural portions of the route. We found that there were areas with lots of turns, winding country roads, where it also helped out the riders and their crew, gave them a little feeling of security, knowing that they were seeing the signs, they're still on the route in those twisty, windy back roads.
And about how many signs do you have out?
This year we have just about 200 signs over about 160 miles of the route from the Greensburg, Indiana time station through Oxford, Blanchester, and up to the Chillicothe time station.
And most of this money comes out of your own pocket, I believe, doesn't it, Mike?
Yeah, that's true. I was happy to make the donation to promote the rider safety and help the riders out a little bit. I've enjoyed being involved with RAAM for a long time, and it costs about $4 per sign for the sign and the metal frame to put each sign out on the route. So we do welcome donations to help pay for these. We're taking donations here at the Oxford time station, and we also have a few of these signs for sale. So if you want one as a souvenir, please don't take one off the route. Please come by the time station, and you can buy one of the current signs for $10. That gets you a souvenir, plus it puts 2 signs out on the route.
Okay, very good. And now, if people would like to make a donation, the best way I can tell them is go to the OhioRAAMshow.com and just click and get in touch with me there. And at the bottom of your screen now, you'll see that website, OhioRAAMshow.com. There's a place you can get in touch with me there. And I'll put you in touch with Mike, so I know he would appreciate that. So Mike, this is a tremendous thing you do, and I know it's appreciated. Everybody talks about them. I don't have to bring the subject up. They just say, "Oh, that's the area that has the signs. They're so wonderful." So again, Mike, we thank you an awful lot for what you do. It means a lot.
Well, thanks, Lee, and I'm glad to see riders and crews appreciating this, and I'd like to keep doing it, so hope that we can continue.
And I'm glad we finally got you on the show. You're a busy man. You're always someplace else in the nation, so we nailed you down at last.
Well, thank you much, and yeah, it's a busy schedule. I'm glad I could be here RAAM week this year.
Okay, very good. Thanks a lot,
thanks,
Mike.
Lee.
You bet. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we're here with Jamie. Give me your full name, Jamie.
Jamie Narragon.
And you're from where?
Toledo, Ohio.
And your money-making job is?
I'm a high school social studies teacher.
Okay. And I see you on Twitter all the time writing about bicycles. What do you do there? I mean...
I write for a couple of cycling websites, US Cycling Report and Bike World News. So I tweet a lot of my articles, and then during races, particularly the tour, I live tweet and kind of like live commentary of what's going on the races as I watch them on my various feeds.
Yeah, I see them there. You do a good job.
Thanks.
And this week you're doing what?
I'm a regional official for RAAM.
Okay, and what region are you covering?
I cover from Greensburg, Indiana through Chillicothe, Ohio.
Okay, very good. And you're just sitting here waiting for instructions, right?
Pretty much. I wait around till the headquarters calls and tells me where to go, and then I just follow the riders back and forth along the course, making sure that they're safe, that they don't need anything, and that they're following all the rules.
And have you handed out any penalties?
Warnings, but no penalties.
Warnings, but no penalties. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Jamie.
No problem. Thanks.
And he's with the American team? Or is that...
He is a solo.
Oh.
If they're with a team, there's a T before their thing.
Okay.
And then it lists all their teammates.
How many teams or how many people are going through? Or teams or individuals?
There's a total started of 130 started. So it's got down a lot now. I think there's an official in here too.
And then their band, and they all follow the same route?
Yep.
Yeah. The first rider has already finished.
Okay.
Yeah. In record time.
Really?
Yeah.
And you are?
I'm Tim Ojeski.
Okay.
I'm from Houston.
Okay.
And with Dennis Johnson.
Des Johnson. You are?
Brian Meekin. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I'm with crewing for Den.
Okay. And what's your job?
I'm RV.
RV driver.
RV driver and support in the.
And how about you, sir?
I'm navigator and support planning.
Very good. Thank you.
All right.
Keep it up! that's 61-year-old Dennis Johnson.
All right, good ride. Way to go.
Hey!
All right. Well, I said I'd have some personal comments here at the end of the show just to get a few things off of my mind. Nothing very radical. But first of all, let me say that just so Fred Bothling, the CEO of the Race Across America, doesn't call his lawyer, I should tell you that the OhioRAAM show is totally independent from the race itself and the organization. And that should ease Fred's mind a little bit. So don't allow this show to sully the fine reputation of the Race Across America, because we just do this on our own, and they don't have any say over what I do, and I don't have any say over what they do. That's it. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Pippa Middleton being on the race, and I'm getting just a little bit tired of it all. I mean, I go to the McDonald's there in Oxford last night to get a coffee, and usually when you walk up to the counter, they say, "How can I help you?" Of course, I have my event staff t-shirt on. She doesn't say, "How may I help you?" She says, "When's Pippa coming through?" Well, I kind of hesitate because I don't know exactly when she's coming through. We got a pretty good guess, but I go over, it turns cool, and I go over to TJ Maxx to get some long pants. I forgot to take any with me. Didn't need them after all, but just in case before the store closed. Store manager, I walk in, store manager's up front. Does he say, "What can I help you find?" No. "When's Pippa coming through?" I go over to buy a sandwich at the Kroger grocery store, and the clerk says, "When's Pippa coming through?" Well, I want to tell you, she's coming through. Her team is coming through. And those of you who said, "This is just a public relations stunt," go on the website, raceacrossamerica.org, or actually ridefarther.com would be the best way to do it. Look at the stats. That team's burning up the road. This is not a publicity stunt. Leave the poor woman alone. Forget about her physique or what she rubs on various parts of it, and all that stuff. Just let her ride the bike and show what this team can do, and believe me, they are showing it. Now, would I like to see her? Sure I would. Would I like to get an interview with her? Sure I would. Will I try to get an interview with her? If I can. But, hey, just let the woman ride her bike. Okay, that's enough of that. Now, I said in a post that, probably a hyperbolized post, that if it weren't for the women in this race this year, this show would be almost as boring as baseball. Well, my wife is coming. She said she Now, remember you're on the air, dear.
I like baseball.
Remember, dear, you're on the air.
I'm not saying bad words, but I like baseball.
Okay. There are some people who don't mind being bored, I guess.
Shut up.
As Jim Fain, the editor of the Dayton Daily News, once said, baseball is so boring That's the only game you have to stop 2/3 of the way through and wake up the fans. Well, that's enough said about that. Let's back to the race. The women are putting on quite a show. I mean, the solo women. I mean, it's been nip and tuck. I've just got up after trying to get a couple hours sleep, and I haven't checked the stats on them this morning. But Janice Schufelt, she was leading the race. She wound up in the hospital with oxygen, and I don't know, maybe she got IV, I don't know. With altitude sickness, falls back in third place, and it has, the last I looked, had fought her way back up to first. I mean, it's a real battle going out there with those women. They're putting on a show for us. And then some people have said, Lee, you're biased. You're biased by people you've had on the show. I never said this show was unbiased. I mean, I am biased. Anybody's been on the show, I'm rooting for you. That's the problem with the women. 4 of the women out there have been on the show. It's kind of like watching your children. I mean, who do you root for? But anyhow, the 4-person woman team 18 to 50, Team Phenomenal Hope, who has been on the show and several times, and we've had a lot of exchanges. They have been battling out with the German woman team, the Fräuleins, who said they were too busy to be on the show. Well, who am I rooting for? Come on, Team Phenomenal Hope. Let's show those German women what we Yanks are made of. And come on, team, don't let them treat me like this. Okay? Now, that said, one more comment. I think a big topic of discussion around has come up the question of money. So many racers are struggling to get the money to do this race. There's no money in it. You got to have sponsors and what have you. I don't have a solution. But I think the problem of money is a real problem. And I think it's something that has to be thought about. Like I said, I don't have a solution. I came across Hoppo last night, Chris Hopkinson from the United Kingdom, and stopped and had a little chat with him. He was getting a little nutrition. Oh, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And we had a little chat about it. And he said, "This is the last time I can do RAAM. I just cannot afford it anymore." And I know that Marco Bello, who did round up enough cash to do the race across the West, if he would have had the money, I would say it would be safe to say that he would be on the podium in Annapolis in second place. So somehow, some way, if we're going to keep these kind of things up, we got to find some way to finance them. That's just my thoughts and my opinions, and I'd like to hear from you. You can do that by going to the RAAM show, the OhioRAAM show website, and click on the old guy standing in the ocean with the bicycle over his head. Leave me your comments and thoughts, or put them on my Facebook or Google Plus accounts. I'll be glad to hear from you there. While you're there, you can help the show along and become better known by giving me a like on Facebook, give me a +1 on Google Plus, share it, pass the word. We're trying to do something here to help the whole sport of ultracycling, and that's what we're all about. Thank you for listening to my little ranting here that came out of a mouth that had from a guy who just hasn't had enough sleep over the last couple of days, and doesn't look like he's going to get much more for another couple of days. So I'm headed to Blanchester and doing some filming. We don't film anymore, but you know what I mean. And we'll be back after that. Thank you, and see you real soon.